Jacob blesses his sons. Then Jacob called his sons to him. He said, "Come here to me. I will tell you what will happen to you in the future. Come together and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, my first son, you are my strength. Your birth showed I could be a father. You have the highest position among my sons. You are the most powerful. But you are uncontrolled like water. So you will no longer lead your brothers. This is because you got into your father's bed. You shamed me by having physical relations with my slave girl. Simeon and Levi are brothers. They used their swords to do violence. I will not join their secret talks. I will not meet with them to plan evil. They killed men because they were angry. And they crippled oxen just for fun. May their anger be cursed, because it is too violent. May their violence be cursed, because it is too cruel. I will divide them up among the tribes of Jacob. I will scatter them through all the tribes of Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will grab your enemies by the neck. Your brothers will bow down to you. Judah is like a young lion. You have returned from killing, my son. Like a lion, he stretches out and lies down to rest. No one is brave enough to wake him. Men from Judah's family will be kings. Someone from Judah will always be on the throne. Judah will rule until the real king comes. And the nations will obey him. He ties his donkey to a grapevine. He ties his young donkey to the best branch. He can afford to use wine to wash his clothes. He even uses grape juice to wash his robes. His eyes are bright from drinking wine. His teeth are white from drinking milk. Zebulun will live near the sea. His shore will be a safe place for ships. His land will reach as far as Sidon. Issachar is like a strong donkey. He lies down while carrying his load. He will see his resting place is good. He will see how pleasant his land is. Then he will put his back to the load. He will become a slave. Dan will rule his own people like the other tribes in Israel. Dan will be like a snake by the side of the road. He will be like a dangerous snake lying near the path. That snake bites a horse's leg. And the rider is thrown off backward. Lord, I wait for your salvation. Robbers will attack Gad. But he will defeat them and drive them away. Asher's land will grow much good food. He will grow food fit for a king. Naphtali is like a female deer that runs free. She has beautiful fawns. Joseph is like a grapevine that produces much fruit. He is like a healthy vine watered by a spring. He is like a vine whose branches grow over the wall. Men attack him violently with arrows. They shoot at him angrily. But he aims his bow well. His arms are made strong. He gets his power from the mighty God of Jacob. He gets his strength from the shepherd, the rock of Israel. Your father's God helps you. God all-powerful blesses you. He blesses you with rain from above. He blesses you with water from springs below. He blesses you with many babies born to your wives. He blesses you with many young ones born to your animals. The blessings of your father are greater than the blessings of the oldest mountains. They are greater than the good things of the long-lasting hills. May these blessings rest on the head of Joseph. May they rest on the forehead of the one who was separated from his brothers. Benjamin is like a hungry wolf. In the morning he eats what he has caught. In the evening he divides what he has taken. These are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is what their father said to them. He gave each son the blessing that was right for him. Then Israel gave them a command. He said, I am about to die. Bury me with my ancestors in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite. That cave is in the field of Machpelah east of Mamre. It is in the land of Canaan. Abraham bought that field from Ephron the Hittite for a burying place. Abraham and Sarah his wife are buried there. Isaac and Rebekah his wife are buried there. I buried my wife Leah there. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittite people. After Jacob finished talking to his sons, he lay down. He put his feet back on the bed, took his last breath and died. Jacob's burial. When Jacob died, Joseph hugged his father and cried over him and kissed him. He commanded the doctors who served him to prepare his father's body. So the doctors prepared Jacob's body to be buried. It took the doctors 40 days to prepare his body. This was the usual time it took. And the Egyptians had a time of sorrow for Jacob. It lasted 70 days. When this time of sorrow had ended, Joseph spoke to the king's officers. He said, "If you think well of me, please tell this to the king. When my father was near death, I made a promise to him. I promised I would bury him in a cave in the land of Canaan. This is a burial place that he cut out for himself. So please let me go and bury my father. Then I will return." The king answered, "Keep your promise. Go and bury your father." So Joseph went to bury his father. All the king's officers, the elders of his court and all the elders of Egypt went with Joseph. Everyone who lived with Joseph and his brothers went with him. And everyone who lived with his father also went. They left only their children, their flocks and their herds in the land of Goshen. Men in chariots and on horses also went with Joseph. It was a very large group. They went to the threshing floor of Atad, east of the Jordan River. There they cried loudly and bitterly for Jacob, also called Israel. Joseph's time of sorrow continued for 7 days. The people that lived in Canaan saw the sadness at the threshing floor of Atad. They said, "Those Egyptians are showing great sorrow." So now that place is named Sorrow of the Egyptians. So Jacob's sons did what their father commanded. They carried his body to the land of Canaan. They buried it in the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre. Abraham had bought this cave and field from Ephron the Hittite. He bought the cave to use as a burial place. After Joseph buried his father, he returned to Egypt. His brothers and everyone who had gone with him to bury his father also returned. The brothers feared Joseph. After Jacob died, Joseph's brothers said, "What if Joseph is still angry with us? We did many wrong things to him. What if he plans to pay us back?" So they sent a message to Joseph. It said, "Your father gave this command before he died. He said to us, 'You have done wrong. You have sinned and done evil to Joseph. Tell Joseph to forgive you, his brothers. So now, Joseph, we beg you to forgive our wrong. We are the servants of the God of your father.'" When Joseph received the message, he cried. And his brothers went to him and bowed low before him. They said, "We are your slaves." Then Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Can I do what only God can do? You meant to hurt me. But God turned your evil into good. It was to save the lives of many people. And it is being done. So don't be afraid. I will take care of you and your children." So Joseph comforted his brothers and spoke kind words to them. Joseph continued to live in Egypt with all his father's family. He died when he was 110 years old. During Joseph's life Ephraim had children and grandchildren. And Joseph's son Manasseh had a son named Machir. Joseph accepted Machir's children as his own. The death of Joseph. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die. But God will take care of you. He will lead you out of this land. He will lead you to the land he promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Then Joseph had the sons of Israel make a promise. He said, "Promise me that you will carry my bones with you out of Egypt." Joseph died when he was 110 years old. Doctors prepared his body for burial. Then they put him in a coffin in Egypt.